what do you think is a good thing? What's come out there that you go, I couldn't do that?
Well, television's been okay.
Yeah, but don't you think it gets you down as well?
Is it like a brand?
The way that... Why?
Well, because I try not to watch anything that's going to get me down.
No, but sometimes you can't avoid it. It's like, something bad happens in the world and then you put the telly on. Now, years ago, cavemen weren't worrying about what was going on the other side of the world. They just get on with their own day, potter about. Now, like within 5 minutes of something happening, we're all getting miserable because it's like, oh, have you heard the news? So
you're actually a Luddite then. Here you've been doing this podcasting thing. I know that's a big word.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Carl.
What do you think? Can I just explain what a Luddite is to him, though, Carl?
Yeah. Please.
Is it like a caveman, isn't it?
No, it was people that were protesting against the Industrial Revolution and went and smashed up machinery because they thought it was an evil that was going to ruin the world.
What was the machine that was smashing up?
I think it was something like a...
It's a giant robot that was going around killing it.
The giant robot that was killing all the dinosaurs. Yeah.
But go on, what were you going to say?
Well, I was just, as we're wrapping up here, Carl, I have to admit that I was a little bit nervous about doing this interview with you. I'm a little bit nervous that this might end up as a diary entry. Is this interview been interesting enough to warrant a diary entry or no?
Can I just answer that as well?
Sure.
He puts in things like saw a woman walking down the street, saw a fat bloke. I think you're interesting enough to make it his diary. If you're not, you're in real trouble.
Well, that's why I'm hesitant to even ask the question. I would hate to not even make Carl's cut.
That would be devastating.
It is interesting, but not because of you, but just because of the way that I'm talking
Thank
now.
you.
Because I thought someone was going to be in this room chatting to us, and you're miles away. What time is it?
It's 11 o'clock in the morning here.
You see, there's the next invention then. Why is it 11 o'clock? Wouldn't the world run better if it's the same time everywhere?
No, the answer's no. The answer's definitely not.
But why? Because we'd all be on the same. We'd all have the same mood all the time.
Well, no,
we'd
we've got that.
We've
We've got Greenwich Mean Time if you want a reference point.
But everybody feels the same in the morning, don't they?
Oh, you're such an idiot. What's morning? What's morning?
Just listen to it.
Did you hear that groan there from Clark?
Are you guys...
He just felt like he wanted to give up living.
Are you guys, is this started something? Are you guys going to keep on podcasting?
Yeah, love it. Yeah. Absolutely love it, yeah. Until every person in the world knows who Carl Pilkington is.
But it's just another invention. If we brought it out on cassette, no one would want to know. That's what I mean. Blogging, you mentioned blogging, but I've got a diary. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's always the same. This link that we've got now, it's clearer, but it's the telephone. Everything's done. It's boring. Move on.
Do you know what he said to me once, Clark? He said, everything that's that ever will be invented has already been invented.
Right.
And I pointed out that people said that in 1900. And he said, well, what's happened since 1900? I said, well, loads of stuff. He went, well, what's left to be invented? I said, a cure for cancer. He said, people have to die, otherwise rent will keep going up. That's what he said. That was his conclusion.
Yeah, he is concerned with the population, I know. That's been brought up numerous times in the podcast.
But it's just, as well, if you live forever, how do you plan stuff? You just keep putting stuff off. Whereas, if you know you've only got a set amount, then you go, right, what do I want to do? Let's get my diary out. There's no point having a diary if you're living forever, because you go, well, let's spread it out.
Well, I guess you can stop keeping your diary then.
I tell you what you could try if you could live forever, to try and type the complete works of Shakespeare with the book in front of you, and I don't reckon you'd ever do it.
Well, we'll leave it there. Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant, and Carl Pilkington, thank you very, very much for agreeing to join us today. We appreciate it.
Cheers.
But no, I used to get up in the morning and then they'd still sort of all be there asleep on the floor and on the sofa.
That's terrible. Christmas is surely the one day a year which is a family thing.
Hi, I'm Ricky Gervais.
My name's Steve Merchant.
I'm Carl Pilkington.
And you're listening to the World's Technology Podcast.
Can we do that end bit? Just Hang on. Here we go. On the count of three.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
And you're listening to the World Technology Podcast. I wasn't looking at him. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
And you're listening to the World Technology Podcast.
Brilliant.
Surely that's what they're looking for.
That
They must
is,
be looking.
yeah,
Right, here we go.
that is more than what I'm looking for.
Do it once more, hang on.
Okay.
And you're listening to the World Technology Podcast. Hi, I'm Mickey Gervais.
My name's Steve Merchant.
I'm Carl Pilkington.
I love the fact that he does everything well.
And you're listening to the World
World
Technology
Technology
Podcast.
I've done everything well.
Oh.
I don't need to do it again.
Somewhere,
happy?
yeah, somewhere in there we got it.
I said in the past to you, Rick, that my grandparents, so I love them dearly, but it's like for the last 30 years they've been waiting
everyone.
to die.
I'm
I know. It's
Freddy
like they just sort of, it's
here.
like
I'm
you know,
live.
the novelty wore off.
A little early though.
In the 50s.
I'm gonna go open the window.
Like yeah, in the 40s, it was brilliant. All sat around the old Joanna's, the box, all singing it. And the 50s, you know, that was great as well because that was the post-war years. It was, you know, it was a bit tight in the pocket, but it was alright. Everyone pulled together. And then the 60s came along, all the crazy music, the funny hair.
Let's
stay in bed.
stream with the
They
web.
basically stayed in bed.
The web.
And it was one Christmas.
Hey,
when
entire
my
export,
grandmother
how's it
said to my
going?
Dad, what do you like for Christmas? What do you fancy for Christmas? And
Hey,
this must have been,
Kuju,
I don't know, 20
welcome
years ago.
to the
She said,
Thanksgiving
what
special.
do you
What's
fancy
up,
for Christmas,
Rudy?
Ron? And he went,
Thank you to
well,
the
you know, I
for
could do
coming
roast
to
beef, kind of
the
warm
Hey
winter
Nuclear
everything.
Glue.
She said,
Thanks
"Don't
for
worry
coming
about
to
that." She said, "Don't worry about
the
that, 'cause your
Thanksgiving
fans will be boxed
special.
in."
That's what I was trying to
It's
get
what you
to.
can have is.
Third
My granddad.
annual
Well, that
Thanksgiving
Bill's with my father
special.
still waiting.
What's up, Nick?
Which is good news.
Happy
It's good
Thanksgiving
news
to
for my
you
grandfather.
too, man. I think it'll be a good one.
Freezing.
Benaline, historical hiker. Thanks for that shout out on Instagram too. That was really awesome.
It's such a weird
Let me
mindset. That I think it's that.
it's
to
always
me is what
harder
sums up
to,
people from that older generation.
get
40s and 50s.
started,
And it seems to
figure
me
out
you've
what's
got that
best,
kind of
take my
mindset.
glasses
It's
off,
like
and
you
I
were
have a
born in
really
the 30s.
bad habit.
Whenever you talk of your childhood,
I
it's
watch
like
my
you
people
had
who've watched my
bad
live
intentions.
streams
Well,
before probably see me do this. I watch myself.
The other thing is, I think that
Constantly watching
that sort of
myself, and it
generation,
makes
it
me-
seems that the man
Gives me
is
motion
dependent
sickness.
on the
It's
woman.
really super weird.
There's a total
So let me figure out a
dependence.
way to
If she
block my
dies,
face.
He's done.
Yes.
He's
So that
done
doesn't
for.
happen. But I still want to see your awesome,
If he
awesome
dies,
comments
she's got 30 years of
here.
pottery.
I mean, I pull up, and all of my
Yeah,
images
to
are
like,
really
you know,
disturbing,
the
sad
youth
stuff.
club
Like,
and the
Yeah,
church.
I mean,
I guess
It's
here's a
sort of
cute
like
one.
that it's-
You guys
it's
can't
sad,
see
of
it, but
course
it's a
it's
little
sad for them,
Thanksgiving
but
cat.
it's not the end
As
of their
opposed
life.
to the news
No,
report
it's
on
so
all
easy
those
the
children
other way around.
dying
I
in
don't
the
know what it
fire.
is. It's
Hey,
terrible.
Cantillion, say Joe Logan.
I
Oh,
know,
thanks.
Really brought
Yeah, I
it.
just
You
did
brought
it.
it down. You've brought
I
it
just,
down. This isn't a
trimmed
nice
it up
show
in
at all.
my
This is
bathroom.
terrible.
Well, I
We're
didn't
going to
really
people
wanna
just
make
Thanksgiving
killing
cat
themselves.
here.
What?
So yeah,
I
I'm
really wanna make
so
it a
glad that
Christmas
you guys are
show,
able
so
to
then
join us for
don't
this
really like it.
Thanksgiving,
he's done it
third
again.
annual
We did Christmas once,
Thanksgiving.
didn't like it.
No, it's
special.
just I'm not
I'm-
religious or anything.
I'm impressed, not so much by myself, but by you guys for sticking around. Yeah, historical hiker, my picture file. You know, it's not too
Their guitar
bad.
sounds are just brilliant.
Hey,
They're just
Helena.
always so
Um,
nice. All right, Carl,
My
is that
picture
that?
file's
Is that
not
too
too
expensive?
bad. It is
Yeah, they're good.
hit the
Yeah.
occasional
I feel
weird
like
thing.
you've never
Well, you know, that's
kind of
perfect
enjoyed the
actually.
wonder of
That's a good
Christmas. I don't think
segue.
I can't ever get the
Because
sense
I
when you
did
said
want
when
to
you were
talk
very,
about
very
this. I
young.
got a
You know,
couple
that kind
things
of
I want to
bright-eyed,
talk about.
thinking of Santa, you know, kind of
What
landing on the roof
episode
and
was
coming down
that?
the chimney,
So
drinking the
this
sherry or whatever.
week,
I like the idea of it.
I think it was
The
Monday's
sort of,
episode.
you know,
Happy Thanksgiving, Johnny.
I
Happy
used to I
Thanksgiving.
used to get a couple of annuals every year. You know,
Rudy
and I
Jazz
allowed
was
to open
there,
one on Christmas Eve.
Oh, that's
and
Just, yeah, so
so they could throw it on
that's
the
an interesting question. SK, we'll take a look at that.
I think
Rudy Jazz was there, and Nick Buston and his wife, and one other person was there on Hey Vexy.
A good friend of ours, Ross
And Idea Guy, thanks for joining us. So Monday's episode was cut short. Let me cut to the chase here. Monday's episode, I'm sure a lot of you guys probably picked up on it, was only 18 minutes long, or 20 minutes long, or something really, really small.
it's not horrible though, is it?
And the reason why, was that Monday's episode? Let me double check here.
It's a deformed person.
I
isn't it?
cut out 18 minutes of that. It wasn't Monday's episode. It was, I think it was the
I think
previous
for you
week.
and I, Rick, we're going to see his face
Light up.
brighten up.
Anyways, the point is, it was episode
I
7.
think I've seen this. Is this the one?
Episode
with the kid with the red?
774.
I'll be honest with you, Carl, it is.
Episode
Have you seen it already?
774.
Let me just show it to you again so you can.
I'm glad that worked out for you.
It's like,
Awesome. Hey, thank you so much for the donation, Benaline.
no, but
Benelin-
that is like the kid who I went to school with.
Ben,
That is the same.
Benny, La Lane, La Lanine. because of that donation, we'll make sure we get you the shout out, get you in the Carpenter Copter for an episode. Really appreciate you. Cantillions, I do have a P.O. box. It is in the show notes. It's P.O. Box 1363, Hood River, Oregon 97031. But it's also in the show notes, so I do have a P.O. box. I edited out an 18-minute segment. So on Mondays, on Sunday mornings, the Patreon, we have that Patreon Discord. We do a live recording of an episode. And I recorded this 18-minute long segment, and it was funny, and it was complete, and it was finished. And as I was, it was about a really weird, fake incest porn video, but it may have been real. And it was so gross. Like, I mean, it went on for way too long. And like Rudy has pointed out, I reenacted some of the noises that were being made, and it was funny, but it was too gross. Like by the time you got to the 8-minute mark, you're like, because it was this weird like creepypasta turned lost media. Like newspapers were writing articles about whether or not this video actually existed. It was a big story. So I just didn't feel like it was right for that episode. This happens from time to time. It doesn't happen as much as it used to, but I will record another. Yes, Joe, you did miss those noises. I will record. I think I'm going to add that into a bonus episode. When I do a bonus episode and I say repeat that one, which will probably happen sooner rather than later, I'll add it in. Just something about it. Like, before I started, because I had done all the research, and it was about this. I'm not going to go into detail, just compounding the problem, but I did a bunch of research, and as I started to record it, I was getting my mic ready. I thought, this probably isn't a good way to start a Monday
I don't think a lot of cults can.
But I did it anyways. I did it anyways, and then I was editing it. The Patreon people who were listening to it, they liked it. They were also grossed out.
When you were naive and stupid and easily.
But then I was editing it, and I was like halfway through editing it. That segment, just that 18-minute long segment, because 18 minutes takes you like a half hour to edit.
Christmas gift. This is Christmas gift.
I go, I don't want to release this. It's just too gross. It's too gross. So I will because it's good,
I don't know.
But sometimes you just got, and it's so funny because.
Okay, so you heard a track from it just
well,
then,
Nick goes, so Castrate Punk. You're right. Castrate Punk was a Super Disgusting episode. I've talked a lot about. Like cannibalism, pooping each other out. That was pretty gross. This felt different. Like, at least with Castrate Punk, it was a super bizarre subculture that no one really knew about. This felt a little different. I think because it was leaning so much into, like, the porn angle. Like, Castrate Punk, which I know people wish that episode didn't exist either, but that episode felt less exploitive, I guess. It felt more like, whoa, like, this is actually going... I don't know, but I made that call. I will release it, but it's funny because I knew that week I was going to do that episode about Arthur Stillwell and Robert Downey Jr. and listening to your guts and hearing voices and stuff like that. Hey, Sephora, Ari, happy Thanksgiving. And thank you for stopping by too, T-Mad and Why Do Countries Exist. Hey, T-Mad, you're back. I haven't seen you in a while.
Have You Fed the Fish, which I think is slightly mediocre.
Yeah, I just edited it out. Like, I had to listen to my gut, and I knew I was going to do an episode about Arthur Stillwell later in the week, and I was like,
it could be worse. James Caan in the original.
I just need to listen to my gut. For whatever reason, my gut's telling me not to release this creepypasta lost media incest segment, which is weird because so only 3 people of 4 people have heard it, and it has become its own lost media. But I will include it in a bonus episode pretty soon. Yeah, Castrate Punk. It's so funny because for me, I didn't think that was so gross. No, I mean, like, visually, but I guess it's because I was looking at the photos and that was gross. So when I was describing the photos, it didn't seem that bad. But if you hadn't seen the photos, if you did not know that segment of that segment of society existed, then yeah, it was like super shocking. Castrate Punk 27/7. Joe, it's so funny. Joe said that they listened to the Johnny. Thank you so much for the donation. I'm going to get your name down and we'll get you in an episode flying around in the Carpenter Copter. Really appreciate that donation, guys. I started just at 10 Harbinger, so yeah, it's only been a couple minutes, really. The that's so funny. T-Man was captain for one of the Gross episodes. There have been times where I've really debated, like, do I need a captain? I think there was a recent episode where I was like, no one's the captain. I even forgot what episode that was. Sometimes if I do episodes that are kind of off-brand, Cantillions, thank you so much, man. Really, really appreciate it. Get you back into the Harbinger Copter as well. That is amazing donation, guys. Really, really appreciate it. No, you're not late at all, Harbinger. And thanks for stopping by. One guy posted, so here's the thing. On YouTube, I'll get like hate comments. People are like, oh, dude, you totally suck, blah, 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 blah. That's fine, whatever, right? But I just ignore those. And then there are the ones that are, they're insulting and they make me laugh. And this guy, I don't remember his name, but I laughed so hard at it. He said, going to what Joe Logan was just saying, that he was listening to the episode about cannibalism and pooping out, and he goes, you legit made me lose my appetite. I couldn't finish my meal, you porpophilic freak. And I laughed so hard. Like, that's the worst thing you can do, is tell me that I ruined your meal. Tell me that you're like, I can't even watch this show anymore, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's just going to make me laugh. An Idea Guy, thank you so much for that donation. An Idea Guy, this is great, guys. Thank you.
Christmas, that's a B. So they're the three things.
It's email only. This one, please remember that.
Sorry, I'm writing that down, that question.
Ricky.gervais@xfm.co.uk.
You know, it's mental illness is such it is such an interesting part of the paranormal world. It has to be included in that. It wasn't pretty good. Insult Quintillions. It has to be, like, if you're a rocket scientist and maybe you're like a little bit crazy because it's all you do is rocket science and stuff like that, it kind of plays a part. But like historian, I guess in some people, when you're like at a certain high level of academics, you're probably a little weird because that's all you do is read American history from like 1776. So like 1955, you're like, I don't read anything else. But we all see it. The combination of mental illness and the paranormal community, and that's kind of what an Idea Guy is talking about. And it's interesting, like, does one, if you have a mental illness, are you more likely to believe in ghosts and goblins and ghouls? Or do those things exist, and be interacting with them make you go crazy? I think most people who are into paranormal, I think most people who believe in conspiracy theories are into paranormal, into dark stuff. They're not mentally ill. I think the majority of people who love really, really creepy true crime stuff or believe in chakra, I don't believe they're mentally ill. I think most of them are just real curious people. But we do have that crossover, and it is something that we can't ignore, which is really interesting. And then, like what Fenelon was saying about people with schizophrenic symptoms, we're actually doing an episode about, someone sent it to me through the Dead Rabbit Radio Reddit, and
the toilet doesn't work.
Let me pull it up here real quick. I'm not going to do the whole segment, but I do want to give this person a shout out. Very, very fascinating article, and it is. Oh, come on, where'd you go, buddy? I also went through a bunch of Max Kramer stuff. Gnome Sane 23 on the Dead Rabbit Radio Reddit sent me this article. There has never, ever been anyone who was born blind who has schizophrenia. They've studied this for decades. They've taken in like 500,000 people who, if you were born blind, you cannot get schizophrenia. They can't figure it out. They have and they realized that people who do it, because now that they can find a group of people who don't have it, they can look at that group, and then they can start looking at people with vision problems early in life have a higher chance of being schizophrenic. So if you're having trouble balancing, if you're having trouble with your eyesight, your chances of schizophrenia are higher. They say if you go blind as an adult, your chances of schizophrenia are off the charts. But if you're born blind, you will never get schizophrenia. it's such a weird thing. And when we're talking about the brain, when we're talking about schizophrenia, we don't even understand that disease, let alone how it plays a part in hearing voices, seeing things from beyond the veil, stuff like that. It's just so interesting. And yeah, El Pato, thanks for joining us. And I think that's another thing. People who are into the paranormal, it could be escapism from a boring life. Jonathan Bellrock, I believe, I asked too many questions that don't have answers. I think it does attract a lot of curious people. I think there's that, we've talked about this before, if you're into the paranormal, it tends to start when you're young, right? When I was a kid, it was the Time Life books. It was those journeys into mystery. And we learned about Bigfoot, and I didn't like Bigfoot back then. I mean, I got all this Bigfoot merch now. Now I'm a little more intrigued. Like Bermuda Triangle, Roanoke. What happened? And the adults were like, we don't know. So you would read these books, and then you start to get into more arcane things as well. But I think it always starts off with that kind of beyond belief, fact or fiction, Leonard Nimoy doing his shows, that type of thing is what gets you in as a kid. Definitely.
Yeah. So I just affect a foreign accent.
There's a fella the other day, about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and like Chasley says, and so going off that, Chasley's talking about the obscure urban legends things. We all know about Bermuda Triangle, Mary Celeste. Those are great ways to like get interested in the subject. But yeah, at a certain point, you don't have the answer. We don't know what's causing the Bermuda Triangle thing. We have theories, but then it's instead of spending so much time on that, I do like to cover the more weird things. Tasmanian, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. I wanted to go back up here real quick because I didn't want to just shoot past this, and I did want to see that Finna Lane said their first episode, their friend listened to was the one where the guy ejaculated out of his butthole.
Yeah, there's doctors around there.
And you know what's funny? Since I did that episode, you're like, what? I missed that one. Since I've done that episode, I got 2 emails from 2 people who listen to the show, and they go, oh, I know a guy who did that. It's not rare at all. The fact that I was able to release this episode, and within a week, I had 2 different people go, oh, no, my buddy. As their eyes go from side to side, they're like, yeah, my buddy. His name's the same as mine, but spelled backwards, and he lives in Canada. They both said, yeah, something happened. Like, one of them was, like, on a motocross bike. And then he was ejaculating out of his butthole. I think that guy was specifically pooping out of his penis. So it's not super rare. If you state a fact and 2 people stand up and go, "Oh, that happened to me," it's not rare at all. This comment up here, and I've kind of been following it a bit, but I wanted to take a look at this about from SK. How soon until the theories about the Waukesha parade start? That was where that guy drove that car through that parade. I'm honestly, obviously, there's some like political conspiracy theories that have popped up. Like, what was his motive? Was this retaliation? You know, for Kyle Rittenhouse and all that stuff. But I'm thinking, and I think SK saying, how come we're not getting? That's a really good point, SK. Where are the weird conspiracy? Travis Scott, that took an hour before those conspiracy theories were out. An hour. And we're like on day 3. I look at my watch like that. It's been almost a couple days. At least a couple days. So that's an interesting one. I'm going to actually go look for that, SK. I'm going to put you down as a note there. But yeah, where is this was predictive programming. If you had watched, Ronin, and it had the scene with the parade yeah, you're right. It's super weird that no one's really pushing that.
We had a request for the little Chinese fellow in his pants.
Nicole, thank you so much. Putting you down here, also getting a ride, piloting the Carpenter copter. Thank you so much. It's amazing. And Rudy Jazz, thank you. Rudy Jazz, mainstay on the Patreon Discord. I want to be more on. Yeah, Nicole, thank you again. That's so amazing. I want to be more on the Patreon Discord. I want to do a bunch of stuff. I've been thinking about trying to do like a movie night, because I always go, oh, dude, what if we do like a movie night every Saturday night? And I was like, there's no way. I don't know why I always try to do. Why I always go, I'm going to do a podcast, and it will be every single day.
That would be great.
It would be cool to do like maybe a monthly movie night, right? That would be cool.
The show,
but
so the recording must be about 9.
The problem is that I start movies movies, and I'll watch 10 minutes of it, and I'm like, oh, this is lame. And I'll shut it off. And then I'll start another movie and watch 10 minutes. Like the other day when I saw Mope, I had watched 4 movies before I got to Mope. And Mope is one of my favorite movies. I love that movie now. But I watched like 4 movies before I got there. True, honest Will Smith, thank you for joining, and thank you for hanging out with us, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well. And true, honest Will Smith's comment, this has been the worst year of their life. I've been hearing that from a lot of you guys, and that sucks. But I'm glad that this show, and that's what true, honest Will Smith is saying. Like, actually, he doesn't say that this show. I thought he said, "Oh, but this show made things easier." He didn't say that. He didn't say that, but. Hopefully it did. Hopefully these past 2 years have been rough. You know, it's funny, the other day I was talking to a friend. I haven't talked to her in a long time, my friend. And she started talking about COVID vaccines and COVID in general. And I thought, you know what's so funny? Early on, when that first started back in 2019, I was like, I'm not going to... No, it started in like 2020, right? It started late 2019. I go, I'm not going to cover this stuff. It's kind of depressing. I did 2 episodes on it. One episode was like, it's all going on. One episode, I'm surprised YouTube hasn't taken down. But it was during the time that I was recording this episode, like in February of 2020, and I was like, it's fine. It was mostly because one person commented and go, this didn't age well. And I thought, well, it does, because I was actually calling out stuff like, I don't believe they're bolting people into the houses in China. All that video footage was coming out of China, like streets full of people flipping around on the ground. And I go, I don't think that's real. And I go, I think it's just going to blow over. Now, I was wrong on the second point, but on the first point, I do think that was a lot of fake news going around there. But yeah, no, hopefully this year will be better. Cantillians, do you think more people are starting to believe more paranormal? You know, it's so funny. Cantillians, the other day, I was going to do an episode on this, I haven't yet. The other day, some real estate company who's like coming up to Halloween did a survey on how many people believe about the paranormal. And I was like, this can't, where did they get the sample size of middle school? Like, it was like 80% of the population in the United States believes in ghosts. And I go, that number is way too high. I think paranormal is one of those things that more people do believe in it than they say, but they get laughed at. If you tell people you believe in ghosts, there are people who will openly mock you for that. And nowadays you can say, I believe in UFOs, because that's becoming more mainstream, that UFOs and everything's like that. But
I've got a bit of a problem with them anyway.
Yeah, it's tough, because I think on one hand we're trying to be a more rational society. Well, it's funny because I grew up in a super... Growing up in the 80s, it was all over the place. We had the remnants of the hippies. We had the chakra movement, the New Age movement, when yoga was still considered satanic. And you had the astrology was a huge thing. You had that one Shirley MacLaine, who was like a best-selling author and believed in reincarnation. It seems less so now than when I was a kid. It seems like paranormal belief is less mainstream now. Now it appears on channels like Gaia, which actually... Demi Lovato, singer, actor, Demi Lovato, she's now doing paranormal research. She has a show on, like, I don't know, A&E or something like that. And I saw a headline, and it said, Demi Lovato aligns herself with conspiracy theory website. And I was like, what? Like, that's interesting, right? I totally want to see what this is. I clicked on it. She was giving shout out to Gaia.
Do you know Port Maddox?
And as much as I joke around about Gaia, I would not classify them as a conspiracy theory website. I mean, if you think Atlantis is a conspiracy theory, then maybe, but that just seemed to be a way to kind of box her in and to make her sound like a lunatic.
Yeah,
that's interesting. El Pato says maybe the concert, the Travis Scott concert, was predictive of the parade. You know what's funny is I need to get my buddy Earbud over here. I need to get him over here just to hang out with him. It's been a long time since we hung out, but I would love to like play a little clip for you, because I found like really weird footage from like the Travis Scott thing. There's like a monster. There's like a monster walking on the roof. But I can't show it to you. I have it. My friend in Canada sent it to me. Totally believe that it's true, but yeah. It was one of those videos. I'll put it. I'll talk about it on an episode. We'll put it in the show notes. It's one of those videos that could easily be faked, right, Travis? Dumpster.
Well,
but yeah, there still is weird stuff coming out of there. But yeah, I'm curious about why there isn't more.
Say if Noah.
Yeah, an idea guy, and so an idea guy says, I have a Bigfoot alien theory that's too long put in the chat. Dude, I'm even down for your guys' theories like that. Like, there have been people in the past, like, email it to me. Because you guys know I accept story ideas, but there have been other people who've been like, hey, I just have like this. I've covered them too. I can't think of one off the top. Oh, I can. The one guy who said, I think conspiracy theories are a way to send you insider trading. That was it. He sent me this theory. He sent me a little bit of proof. Like I've been talking to the guy for a while online, and he goes, this is what I believe, and these are the things I've done, and this is da-da-da-da-da.
When you start off with,
signed, Dear George Soros. But no, and so I covered that. So if you do have like a really cool take on UFOs or Bigfoot or whatever, email it to me. I don't have a problem reading your guys' weird theories too, because I obviously come up with that. Jonathan recommends movie nights, but we only watch rom-coms. I can find some dope rom-coms, definitely.
The fact that you've got an expert and you suggest.
Does the mask count as paranormal? I don't understand that comment, Sayla, but maybe some clarification.
Why you stopped there?
Let's see here.
Positions or something. I can't.
The entire export. Thank you for that donation.
I didn't get to the bottom of what I wanted to say.
You are also back.
Oh, no, you did. That's it. That's done now. That's a pretty
carbon
good academic
copter.
work. That's proved. Yeah.
No, but the turtle thing,
really appreciate that.
Yeah,
and I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Yeah, there's that weird line, because here's the thing: if you went to your job and you said, I believe in ghosts, people will go, what do you mean? Like, it's kind of, you believe in Casper? But the entire export is seeing a shift to spirituality. People don't make fun of your religion. They won't do it to your face, at least, right? If I said, hey, guys, on the weekend, I'm going to go hunt Bigfoot. I'm going to go walk around in the way. Actually, that's pretty cool. People do like it because at least you're outdoors. Like, hey, I'm a guy, and I'm going to go hunt ghosts. I'm going to go break into this house and do all this stuff. They'll make fun of me, but what just happened, right? I'm speaking from experience. But if you started telling, it's funny, the entire export down that you said that, is I will say that from time to time. I'll talk about stuff. I'll be like, I could sense their energy was kind of getting a little heightened, so I would just kind of pull myself away from the situation. That's not realistic. I mean, it's real. I understand what I'm saying, and I do think that people give off certain energy. So if someone asks, how come you didn't resolve that situation? That guy smashing all the laptop displays open. He was giving off a negative energy. Instead of being like, I saw Benjamin Franklin's ghost warning me that something bad was going to happen. You can take paranormal beliefs and wrap them in the term spirituality, and people won't make fun of you. And so, I mean, don't take my word for it. Someone may still beat you up, but probably not. Yeah, Rabbitfish says the conspiracy scene has been different ever since everything on Earth became political. It is.
Around the fridge magnet, because I think
when I was growing up, and I don't mean to keep playing the old man role, but I like being this age doing this show, because when I was growing up, conspiracy theories were almost all political.
It reminds me,
you didn't have you didn't have stuff like you would have like a stabbing at the Rolling Stones concert, and that was just a stabbing at a Rolling Stones concert. We didn't have all this stuff about predictive programming because they didn't make it up back then. But you had tons of conspiracy theories about Ronald Reagan, about the Soviet Union, JFK, super political conspiracy.